This Organized Chaos video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. But yeah, let's see. Oh, do you guys want to check out the Donald Trump one before I leave it? I can do one more, because, yeah, I did say we were going to do some charisma on comedian. I just wasn't expecting that. That was... Okay, let's look up the Donald Trump one. Oh, wow, he's done a couple of Trump ones. Why Trump will smash Hillary... Well, okay, how to dominate any debate. Trump's genius. I think that was the one you guys were talking about. Okay. How Trump manipulates the media.
The ability to influence mass media is an actual real-life superpower. The Kardashians, for instance, have earned over $100 million with that power. But by far the best media influencer that I have ever seen is Donald Trump. While other people get buried by scandals, he thrives on them. He won the presidency through a hailstorm of scandals that really no one else could have come through, despite spending only slightly over half.
We'll see what he says, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you why Trump was such a media figure. And it's very much related to why a lot of these fandom menace have taken over on YouTube, why a lot of these right-wing grifters have taken over on social media. It's a mixture between people who actually believe this shit and people who are outraged by this shit coming together and just boosting these guys' profile. So with Donald Trump, you get a lot of people who are outraged by him and a lot of people who love him. And it just, all that feeds into him. Like, essentially, a like and a dislike in the algorithm just reads it as an engagement. And the most part, the algorithm is just looking for engagement. So when you get those likes and dislikes, it all adds up to the same thing at the end of the day, which is why Trump was so popular, because he gets people who love him and people who fucking can't stand him. And he has more people who can't stand him than anybody else. But we'll see what Charisma's analysis is.
Of what Hillary did on his campaign. And that was because Donald was able to get the media to influence votes towards him for free, despite the fact that many of those outlets were trying to do the exact opposite. And that's why in this video, we're going to talk about why Trump is able to thrive in...
Yeah, it was free publicity. That's why it gets tough to actually take the fandom menace seriously. Because if they were serious about, like, shutting down Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, if they were serious about that, they would stop talking about it. But they keep on bringing it up. Why? Because they just want the clicks. And it's free publicity for Disney, so they'll let it happen.
Today's media environment and how he controls the media so well. To be clear, I'm not supporting or even criticizing Trump in this video. I'm personally...
Dank Drake, the algorithm promotes watch time and retention the most? Yeah, it promotes that too. You're not wrong.
Just interested in how all of this works. So let's begin with what it is that Trump wants. And that's pretty simple. Trump wants to have his core message repeated, whatever that message is at any given time. And he wants that as often as possible until it sticks in your memory and all the opposing messages are just drowned out. After all, what gets repeated gets remembered, and what gets remembered gets done. To be clear, this isn't unique to Donald Trump. Brands pay big money to do this all the time. The only difference is that McDonald's has to pay every time you see one of their ads, whereas Trump got over $2 billion in free advertising during the 2016 campaign, and who knows how much since.
True, and that was an issue. It was ridiculous. I remember there was a point where they were filming Trump's empty podium when Bernie was giving a speech during the primary, and it was just like, you piece of shit, why are you doing this?
Then. Now, he did that by understanding that the news media wants very specific things. They need stories that people are going to watch, click, and share, because without that, the outlet goes out of business. And what people are going to watch, click, and share turns out to be a very small group of things. First off, those things need to be sensational. We pay attention to things that seem out of the ordinary. Not every single day is going to bring news that feels so crazy and out of the ordinary, so boring and nuanced statements are often taken out of context in order to drive up the shock value and grab attention.
Small business owners, guess what? The president has a new message for you.
If you got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody...
Here, I'm going to tell you a little bit algorithm stuff. And since I'm talking about algorithm stuff, and I always forget this, please like on this stream, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Check out the Fandom Initiative. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Fandom Initiative channels. Will Screedia, Actual Fandom, Turf Nation, Eric's Reloaded, Pop Counterculture. Like, comment, subscribe on all their stuff. That's all great stuff. And also Organized Chaos Podcast. I feel like I forget about my podcast a lot. It's still going on. We're still going strong. Bobby and I are still making videos where we're just talking about the media we love. That's every week. It's got its own channel. Like, comment, and subscribe there. Show some love over there. Now, dealing with the algorithm. if you don't want these grifters popping up that often, the best thing you can do when like Nerdrotic or someone else pops up on your stream is do what I do on my personal account and just click on those 3 dots and say, do not recommend this. And when it comes back up, say, do not recommend this. And just keep on doing that. Keep on telling the algorithm, I don't want to see this. Now, I cover these guys. So on my Organized Chaos channel, which the algorithm's fucked on there, I'm going to see them fairly often. But if you don't have to cover them, don't look at them because they're just toxic and they're not good for you. Watch with your friends with a laugh or watch on stream with me for a laugh. That's the only sane way to digest a lot of this stuff. But yeah, that's how you deal with the algorithm. That's the best way to deal with it. Don't comment on their stuff. Don't get into fights on their stuff. Don't dislike their stuff. Just say don't recommend and move on.
Somebody else made that happen.
Huh?
Who? You didn't build that? Who built that? Who built that business? Who worked? Who invested? Who took risks?
Somebody helped to create this unbelievable American system that we have that allowed you to thrive. Somebody invested in roads and bridges. If you got business, you didn't build that.
Country are trying to come in. We're stopping a lot of them. But we're taking people out of the country. You wouldn't believe how bad these people are. These aren't people. These are animals.
I want to share what Trump said yesterday when he was talking about sanctuary cities in California. These are animals.
I'm a lot more concerned of when he does things like call immigrants animals. And it is a very slippery slope when you start dehumanizing people this way. It's what the Nazis did. It's what slave owners did. It's not what Americans do.
I mean, it might be edited. I don't know if you have the full thing. Is maybe it says something different, but it's Russian TV, so that's good news. But yeah, I mean, he was saying they're animals, and he was definitely dehumanizing them when he announced it. He said, hey, they're coming over here, they're sending their worst, they're sending their rapists, they're criminals, and some good people. He's all right. He's been dehumanizing them the whole time, so I don't think it's a huge stretch.
Thank you. There can be an MS-13 gang member I know about. If they don't reach a certain threshold, I cannot tell ICE about them.
We have people coming into the country, trying to come in. We're stopping a lot of them. But we're taking people out of the country. You wouldn't believe how bad these people are. These aren't people. These are animals.
Within sensationalized stories, there is one type of sensationalism that is king, and that is
he's still kind of conflating them all together. Maybe there's a bit more nuance, so I'll give you that, but he's still pretty conflatey.
stories that make you angry, that get you riled up, because nothing gets shared more than videos and articles that enrage people. And Ryan Holiday dives deep into this in his book, Trust Me, I'm Lying. I highly recommend it if this topic interests you. Third, there is a strong preference for news that has a strong audio and visual component to it. Now, the recent reporting of kids in cages at the border hits this hard with audio and video that grabs you emotionally. These images and this audio hits immediately on an emotionally resonant level. Now, there's a lot of terrible things that are going on in the world. For instance, drone strikes that are killing families, leaving kids crying in just the same way. But we don't have the audio and visual component of those, and therefore, it's less likely that that would ever make news or create as much of an emotional response. Fourth, the news needs to be novel. We crave the new, and the Kardashians are a fantastic non-political example of this. The first time that Kim had a semi-nude photo, it quote-unquote broke the internet. At this point, she's done full frontal on her Instagram several times, and it's not even generated quite as much buzz. You have to do something new constantly, or the public just loses interest, and that's very quick. Fifth, if this wasn't already obvious, the news needs to be simple, dead simple, to the point that it flat out ignores the complicated nature of the real world. And politicians have known this for a very long time.
Yes, we need to totally absorb the complex nature of Donald Trump. What?
Yes, we can. Thank you, New Hampshire. Thank you.
We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Despite the fact that politicians have kind of known these rules, if not outright.
Okay, so they both had positive taglines. Cool. What's your point?
Describe them, the news still often would get the best of them, resulting in scandal. You've got Monica Lewinsky, Abu Ghraib, Benghazi, and essentially the news cycle would control these politicians. They were forced to play defense for months.
You know, this is interesting because this was about Trump's genius, and it could have been about how Trump was able to get positive and negative reaction to his commentary and get the clicks that way. And that could have actually been an interesting analysis. But instead, this seems to be running defense for Trump. This is fucked up.
At a time. But Trump has actually learned to reverse this. He seems to happen to the news. And he does that because he accepts that the news is going to be sensational, simplistic, novel, and enraging. And that's why he crafts his messages with those things in mind. So
oh, you're funny. You think Trump crafts his messages. Did you see his fucking toilet bowl speech? He did it multiple times, dude. He does not craft his speeches. He just goes up there and plays to the crowd.
The media literally cannot resist telling the stories that he wants told. Now, all of this comes through in some very specific behaviors from him. A few of them I've covered in other videos, one that I did on Trump during the election where I predicted that he was going to win before he even won the Republican nomination. So if you're interested in those, I'm going to link to them. You can check them out. But continuing here, let's start off with the first core tenet of controlling the news, which is that you have to assert a very simple, positive message and associate that with your...
Yeah, no, he needs a teleprompter to stay on message. And you can tell, like, his teleprompter speeches are like the most boring fucking speeches you've ever seen in your life. It's ridiculous. Like, his most entertaining speeches are always when he's speaking off the cuff. And it's like when he's saying just the most batshit insane stuff ever.
Yourself.
We don't win anymore. We don't win anymore in our country, Sean. We don't win anymore. We used to win. We don't win anymore. We don't win with trade. We don't win with war. We can't even beat ISIS. And we're going to win. If I win, I will tell you, if I win, we all win because we are going to win.
The reason the message needs to be simple is because most people are only hearing sound.
Yeah. So he... Are you under the impression that Trump is saying that over and over again because he's some sort of media genius? Because he's actually just an idiot just repeating a fucking word.
Sound bites and reading headlines, and it needs to be grasped by those people. And it also makes it much harder to take your message out of context if it's extremely simple. Here's Bernie Sanders breaking this rule of simplicity, and it has a very predictable outcome in the news cycle.
I believe that a Medicare for All single-payer program will substantially lower the cost of health care for middle-class families. So instead of paying $10,000 to Blue Cross or Blue Shield, yes, some middle-class families would be paying slightly more in taxes, but the result would be that that middle-class family would be saving some $5,000 in health.
Well, here's a fun fact. You know how many stories they did on Trump that were negative? So you do know that, like, if people want to take you out of context and make you sound, what you say sound negative, then they will. They absolutely will. It doesn't matter how well you curate your message. They will take you out of context and make you sound insane. They will. Now, it helps for Trump that he is insane, but, I mean, they will do this.
Healthcare costs a little bit more in taxes, do away with private health insurance premiums. It's a pretty good...
You know, I will say, like, one of the weaknesses with Bernie is one of the things I love about him is that he's honest. He's honest to a fault. He will tell you the truth.
Deal.
You get bonus points for simplicity if you can use imagery to communicate your points. And that can be an image that is a literal image that you look at or an image that you describe by painting a picture in people's minds so that it sticks with them.
On day one, we will begin working.
Yes, Mikael, inject disinfectant in yourself. If you get COVID, make sure to get some disinfectant and disinject it in yourself. They'll be fine. Okay, since I'm saying this on a public stream, I should probably go ahead and add that don't fucking inject yourself with fucking disinfectant. You will fucking die.
On an impenetrable, physical, tall, powerful, beautiful...
Yes, Wallace and Gromit fan, they all create images. Yeah, no, Bernie totally has, like, the image of almost like the old... kind of like the old grandpa who kind of knows what's up. That's kind of his image. They all have their image.
Southern border wall.
The second thing that Trump does frequently is in the event of disadvantageous news, which seems to be all the time these days, you don't want to waste too much time defending yourself. Defending yourself requires actually repeating the charges against you, and remember, what gets repeated gets remembered. You also don't want to necessarily paint a clear picture in people's minds in the case of disadvantageous news, so restating the charges should only be done very vaguely, if at all.
When you walked off that bus at age 59, were you a different man, or did that behavior continue until just recently? And you have 2 minutes for this.
I told you, that was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it. I am a person who has great respect for people, for my family, for the people of this country, and certainly I'm not proud of it. But that was something that happened. If you look at Bill Clinton...
Bonus points for not wasting time with your denials if you can do it without saying a single word. And body language and facial...
All right, so that was just kind of a deflection. He was like, oh, yeah, no, it was bad that I said that, but Bill Clinton does bad stuff. That was all he was doing. That was just fucking deflection.
The expressions count for a lot here. In addition, if you do use words to deny, you can make the whole thing seem less credible by setting your denial in a more informal setting, not really dignifying it with a formal press conference like in this clip.
Then why did Michael go and make this if there was no truth around making it?
You have to ask Michael. Michael's my attorney, and you'll have to ask Michael.
And do you know where he got the money to make that payment?
No, I don't know.
Third, if you do get into these...
What? So, like, just hope they ask you a question in an informal setting. If he's running for president, he's going to have press conferences, and if they ask him that question, he will have to answer in a formal setting. How he doesn't have control over that.
these hot water situations where you are denying with your body language or your imagery-less statements, you need to quickly counterattack, and you want to do that with vivid imagery.
But Bill Clinton was abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women and attacked them viciously. 4 of them here tonight. One of the women, who is a wonderful woman, at 12 years old, was raped at 12. Her client, she represented, got him off, and she's seen laughing on 2 separate occasions, laughing at the girl who was raped. Kathy Shelton, that young woman, is here with us tonight.
This point is key because the more sensational you make your attacks, the more the media cannot resist them. They must publish them or lose the eyeballs to other competitors.
God, this is really a video just like it's trying to act like, oh, isn't like, trying to act like it doesn't really have any stake in the game. But it's clearly like, isn't Trump great? When was this made? 4 years ago. I want a date. 2018. So he was president when this came out. I think this is a Charisma on Command, definitely hooking onto the algorithm. Ooh, we're about ready to get to a popular point in the video. Okay, let's see.
Competitors. And that means that your counterattacks are going to get more coverage than the original accusation does. After all, what gets repeated by these news outlets, it gets remembered.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
Attack of fake news and attacking our network.
Yeah, because Hillary Clinton totally went to jail when he was in office, right? He was just saying shit.
I just want to ask you, sir.
I'm changing it from fake news, though.
Doesn't that undermine...
Very fake news.
I know, but aren't you...
Notably, spending a lot of time apologizing is not in this playbook. Validating the other side's good intentions isn't in here either. Nuanced arguments, not in here. And that's all because those things...
So, like, being decent is not in here. Cool. Just be an asshole. Be an asshole. That's the secret. Maybe those are behaviors that shouldn't be encouraged. I don't know.
Do not play well with the media. They're prone to be taken out of context, misunderstood, and simplified to assert a message that disrupts your own. And Trump avoids all of those things whenever possible, though obviously extreme occasions are going to warrant an apology, as long as there is a good opportunity for a counterattack in there.
Anyone who knows me knows these words don't reflect who I am. I said it, I was wrong, and I apologize. I've said some foolish things, but there's a big difference between the words and actions of other people. Bill Clinton has actually abused women, and Hillary has bullied, attacked, shamed, and intimidated his victims.
No, nothing. I don't really have anything. Because as we all know, I mean, Donald Trump has never ever done questionable things with women. He has a perfect track record with all members of the opposite sex. He has never done anything fishy. So, like, yeah, he is the perfect person to talk about that. Because, Bill Clinton's the only one that's done fishy stuff with women. It's never been Donald Trump. I should get back to the video. Oh, shit, what's that a picture of? Oh, shit. That's Photoshop, right? That's definitely not a real picture, right? It's not like there'd be multiple pictures like that. Oh, wait, there's what? It's almost like Trump is a piece of shit, right? Yeah, Clinton's a piece of shit too, but so is Trump. I don't... Jesus.
Now, I have to state again, this isn't meant as praise nor as criticism of Trump. I'm just trying to illustrate that he is an excellent media manipulator. He gets how this works. But this process isn't necessarily new. The photogenic JFK beat Nixon in the first televised debates. Charming Bill Clinton handled George Bush Sr. in the town hall debates. And W just felt like the guy that you'd rather get a beer with compared to John Kerry. All of these men were talented in using the media of their day to accomplish their goals. Trump is really just the latest iteration.
I don't know how talented Bush was, really. Bush was kind of like Trump. He was kind of just an idiot. Like, you got the outrage clicks and you got the actual people who liked him clicks. These aren't, like, when you're dealing with Bush and especially Trump, we're not dealing with, like, geniuses. People like Kennedy, Clinton, and Obama were definitely, like, media-trained personalities that knew how to, like, sell their image to the media. Absolutely. Trump and Bush were kind of just idiots, especially Trump. Bush, to a degree, was doing an image for the media. Trump was just a fucking moron.
So if all of this feels a little bit icky to you and you don't like it, what can you do? Well, first off, I want to stop you. Don't blame the media. The media does all of this because this is what we pay attention to. Think about it. Sensationalism, rage, simplicity, striking image, constant newness. The media only demands these things because that's what people click on, watch, and share. And that probably goes for you as well. Just think about the things that you're clicking and how you wound up on this video, for instance. So if you don't like it, I have 2 pieces of advice. One, is to learn to communicate in media speak if you're going into any sort of public-facing field. And you can watch our video on word choice, check out our other videos on Trump if you want to learn more.
Okay, yeah, obviously, like, if you're going to go into this type of thing, media speak is a thing to learn, and I think it's interesting. It's like, you should learn this. So click on our video to learn this.
From someone who has been practicing this for decades. Second, if you want society to resist the urge towards simplicity, sensationalism, and all the rest, start with yourself. So if you read or you watch something that makes you upset, recognize what is happening to you and don't share the outrage. Instead, go and donate to a cause that actually helps solve the issue at hand. And that can mean through your time volunteering or even just giving $5. That will genuinely make the world a better place and begin a cycle of changing things rather than just starting rage for the sake of advertiser eyeballs. So thank you very much if you've made it this far and for watching. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, make sure to click the subscribe button and that notification bell. I'm going to be doing some other big names in the coming weeks.
Mute. That ending came out of nowhere. That was weird. Yeah, no, that whole video was just Trump apologia. That was dumb. Just isn't Trump awesome because he's good at manipulating media? He clearly doesn't manipulate media thoughtfully. Let's see.
Very strongly at sinks and showers and other elements of bathrooms where.
No, I'm on. Okay.
You turn the faucet on in areas where there's tremendous amounts of water, where the water rushes out to sea because you could never handle it, and you don't get any water. You turn on the faucet, you don't get any water. They take a shower and water comes dripping out, just dripping out, very quietly dripping out. People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to once. They end up using more water. So EPA is looking at that very strongly, at my suggestion.
Okay, is it just me, or does it seem?
Yes. That speech came from what Charisma on Command would define as a social media genius. And yeah, now we're ending up with Nazis. Yeah, essentially, yeah. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Yeah. This is how Nazis come into the world. It's through our toilets. That's why their ideas are such shit.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.